Hello, this is Dr. Janet Hall, and I'm a clinical psychologist and sex therapist in Melbourne, Australia. Today I'm going to tell you a sweet, sad story about herpes. I'm not sure if you know this, but so many people now are afflicted with genital herpes, and you know, when I was growing up, you used to have a difference between cold sores that you got on the mouth, and we didn't really even know about genital herpes, but nowadays it's pretty well all the same. And I believe the statistics are that it's around about 60% of people will have contracted herpes, genital herpes, in their lifetime. And some lucky people just have, you know, a couple of little outbreaks, perhaps even just one blister, and you know, it hardly ever happens. But very unfortunate people, and certainly people that I've met in my sex therapy clinic, basically have to go to bed for 3 days, can't sit down, can't walk, can't work. So it's really, really painful, and a lot of people feel that they've got something that makes them dirty. So I don't want people to feel like that. I mean, if you see that 60% of the population have it, you know, it's not something to feel dirty about. Sure, it is spread probably through sexual contact, and we all owe it to our sexual partners to fess up and tell the truth. I have met people who've been devastated by their sexual prospective partners' reaction to that, more so with the older folks. Perhaps a man who'd been married for 30 years leaves, or his wife leaves him perhaps, and then he starts to indulge in the smorgasbord of online dating, and he's just an old stuck in the mud, fussy pot. And when his beautiful woman in every way, except the fact that she has to say, look, I do have genital herpes, and he says, oh no, this relationship can't proceed. I also know, though, some younger people who do have herpes and they're not telling their prospective partners about it. And I see these people who come into me and they say, somehow, somewhere, I contracted herpes. But the sweet, sad story that I want to tell you about is a young woman who was, I think, about 32. And this is about 10 years ago, before online dating really took off. In those days, you would put an advertisement in the paper. So she was just sick and tired of having to explain the herpes to her partners, and so she put an ad in, brave young woman. She said, 32-year-old blonde, professional, with herpes, wants to meet man the same. Do you know she had 100 replies within a couple of days? The very first man that she met, she went out for Sunday breakfast with. They talked all day. She brought him back home for the evening. They had a couple of wines. They had sex. Within a week he'd moved in, and they were happy ever after, as far as I know. So, you know, it is important to disclose anything of a sexually difficult physical problem with your prospective partners. I mean, timing does matter. It's no good telling everybody when you're going out on your first date, but when you think that things are getting pretty hot and it is time, then you need to talk about it. And for all you know, they might have herpes too, or they might have something else that they need to talk to you about. And let's face it, if that person does react negatively, like that old fussy pot man, or yeah, and they don't want to proceed with it, well, they're not the right one for you anyway, so you're better off to move on. If I can help you with anything sexual, please go to my www.sex-therapy.com.au website, or email me at jan@drjanethall.com.au, and I would be very happy to personally answer your email and set you on the right track. So it's been really nice talking to you about quite a sensitive problem, but don't let it get you down, and do know you deserve the most sensational sex life that you can have.